Hello everyone, and welcome to my first ever Superstar Sunday video. Hopefully you guys can hear me all right. I actually am doing a different type of video. This time around I actually already recorded a Superstar video, and it was a reaction video to my strange addiction, and I did a compilation reaction video. But when I went back to edit, I couldn't hear any of the actual my strange addiction videos, so I was like, great. So, like, I had a hard time hearing me, and then you couldn't hear the video at all. So I was like, I'll just do something different this time around. So I'm going to be doing a hair video for you guys. This is going to be um, how to do a French, not a French, a fishtail braid. A fishtail braid is a pretty simple braid to do for like a side fishtail braid, or to do like a double one, so like the pigtail ones are pretty simple to do once you get the hang of it. So if you guys would like to watch that video, then just keep on watching. Alright, so this is kind of what I've got going on right now. This is what I wore today. It looked a little better earlier, but it's been a few hours. I got up at 9 o'clock this morning, 9:10. So it's currently almost 4:30. So it's been in my hair for a long time. So I'm just going to take my ponytail out. And you can start on whatever kind of hair you have. That's the nice thing about braids, is it doesn't require a specific type of hair really. As long as you can work with um, any issues it may cause, because hair that's really fine does tend to slip out of braids a little bit easier. But you can usually counteract that by just making the braids a little bit tighter, or making the braids a little bit smaller. So you're just gonna brush out any tangles you might have, just because for me it's easier to braid if it's, tangle free. But if you have really curly hair, then finger detangle, so you're not pulling out all of your curls. I'm gonna scoot forward so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing here. It's actually pretty dark, so hopefully you guys can see this. I might have to open um, the shades. So yeah, give me 1 second. I'll go open. There we go. That's a little bit better. So to do a side fishtail braid, you're going to go and put your hair to whatever side you have. I usually do it on my left side, but you can do it over on your right side. It's just kind of what you prefer. I think it looks better on my left side to have my hair on my left side, which is why when I part my hair, my bangs are always to my left. You can also do a little bit, if you want to make it a little bit like fancier, if you're going to a dance or something, you can leave that little piece of hair out, and that'll just give you that cute little piece there. And then you can curl it if you want to, with a little curling iron. Obviously this isn't going to do a whole lot since it's just my finger, but you can kind of curl it, and nope, didn't do anything. But you can kind of curl it and make it a little curly, make it a little bit fancy. For this tutorial though, I'm going to pull it all to the side. And then what you're going to do, unlike a typical braid where you would do 3 sections, so a typical braid, you would take the 3 like this, one here, one in the middle, and then one on the back portion here, and then you would just kind of cross them over, blah, 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 blah. Know how to do a simple braid. For a fishtail braid, you divide it in half. So go ahead and kind of gather it like you would a ponytail. And then you're going to take your finger of your other hand and kind of put it right in the middle. And it doesn't have to be exactly in the middle, but just kind of even. You don't want one chunk that's significantly bigger than the other. And split it into 2 parts. Maybe add a little more to this one. Like that, so you can see you've got part A and you got part B. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take, you can hold it with one hand if it makes it easier, and go ahead and take a chunk from the front of part A. So now you've got 3 pieces, like a regular braid it looks like. And then you're going to go ahead and hold chunk A and chunk A2 in one hand, and then you're going to cross chunk A2 over to chunk B right here. You see how I did that? So I just took it from this side, held it on the same hand, and then crossed it over and gathered it in this hand. And now you go ahead and you can hold both A and B in that side. and you're going to take it from the back this time, from the back of chunk B, and then you're going to cross it over into chunk A, like so. And then give it a little bit of a tug to make it tighter. And the thing with a fishtail braid is you can have it really, really tight and sleek and smooth, or you can do it semi-sloppy and kind of have it a little bit bigger and more playful. So I'm going to show you again. You take it like this. So you have that 3-section kind of look, and then hold it in the same hand and cross it over to chunk B. And then one more time for you guys to see. Like this. Got your third piece here. Oh, losing hair here. Hold both in one hand, cross it over like so. All right, and now this next part, I'm just going to speed it up because I'm just doing the same thing. So we're just going to continue doing that same braiding pattern all the way down. All right, and now once you've kind of got this braid look here, and you've kind of gotten it almost down to the end, you can do a couple more stitches if you want to. And like add a little bit more of a fishtail braid to it like that, and just keep going until it's like even farther down. Or if you're finished and you're like, you know what, I just want to kind of wrap it up, I just wanted the top part to kind of look like that, go ahead and take one of the sections. You can do it either section A or section B, doesn't matter, and split that section in half. So now you have your 3 again, 1, 2, and 3. But instead of bringing it over to section A, you're just going to finish it as if it were a regular braid. So I'll show you again. You have it in one section. Go ahead and separate it into 3. So section B gets 2 sections, section A gets 1, and then take section A and cross it over the top of section, like the semi-section of section B, and then take the other semi-section of section B and cross it over the A, and then cross it over and braid it down like you would with a regular braid. And then once you get to the ends, like so, you finish it off with a ponytail tie. And there we are. And now you have a fishtail braid. That's the regular braid, and then there's the fishtail braid. Oops, sorry, I had it twisted. Oh, there we go. It helps when you don't twist it, and you can see when you hold them side to side, you can see that this braid is a little bit more, kind of more just dense, and this one's a little bit fluffier and a little bit prettier. And some people like to pull their braids out like so, make the braid even bigger, and then sometimes I'll like wrap it up in a bun or whatever, but I'm not going to be doing all of that. That's just a little bit too much for this tutorial. And then you got your side fishtail braid like that, and it's real casual. You can go grocery shopping. Like I said, you can leave a little piece out, make it a little bit smoother than I did, and you can use it for like a dance or a party or something like that. Or you can just use it as like doing some chores around the house. So there's that one. All right, and so this next thing I'm going to show you is not really how to do a braid so much as it is how to finish off a braid. I learned this via YouTube one day. So I'm going to just go ahead and take this braid out and go ahead and just like run a brush through it just so it's easier to show you guys. And you don't have to run a brush every time you take out your braid and like go to braid another braid, but it's just to help me to not get my hair all tangled. If I was just doing it to throw it up real quick, I wouldn't care if there was a little knot in it or whatever, but to help for video purposes, I will smooth it back out again. So I don't know if you guys have ever had this problem where you're out in public and your hair's getting in your face, and you go to put your hair up and you have no ponytail tie, and you're like, now how's this, you know, gonna work? So you try and do some sort of like twisty thing or whatever, and you like are tucking it in like this, and it's not wanting to stay. Um, or you're like twisting it up and then kind of sticking it in or something, and it's not wanting to stay. So I'm going to show you how to end your braid without a ponytail tie. It's super convenient. So first of all, we're just going to start off with a simple braid. You can do this with a fishtail braid as well and a French braid because end they all end with a basic braid at the very end of it. Um, we're just going to take these three sections, and this isn't like a detailed thing on how to do a regular braid. I can do a video like that, but if you want, and braid all the way down, well, not all the way down, but most of the way down. So like, we'll say it about here is good. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to keep braiding, but you know how when you braid, normally you would, well, let's take a little bit more out because this piece is thin. How normally you would separate these at the bottom, so you cross it over and then you like run your fingers through to separate it. Well, you're not going to do that once you get far enough down. My hair is not acting right. What else is new? We're just going to braid it, but you're not going to run your fingers through. So just braid it. You actually want the bottoms of your hair to tangle a little bit. All right, so I actually had to do the braid because I didn't have like the pieces weren't evenly sized, and so I started over again. And I also started a little bit higher. So go ahead, and you want your fingers to stay nice and close to each other at the very top, like this, so that the ends will tangle itself up. Okay. And just kind of keep braiding. And the messier at the bottom, the better. So if you want, you can add like little chunks from the other sections to help make it like nesty. If you see that at the very bottom, do you see that? How it's like all kind of ratty and you're just like, oh man, that's not working. That's how you want it to. So you might need to take a little bit of like this piece and add it to this piece to get that kind of ratted at the bottom. And then once you can't go anymore and it's really tight and you can't do any more braiding, you're going to take the ends and then push it through. There we go. It's going. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Success. That took me a lot longer than it should have because I do this all the time, not for camera, and it works. So I'm like, figures that it decides to not work when I need it for camera. And then you're going to pull it through like that, like a knot, and you see how it kind of, the little braid at the end kind of covers up that knot that you just made, and there you go. Now you have it ended. You don't have a ponytail tie, and most people are like, oh my goodness, well, how do you take it out? You just push it back through. So you just take it and push it through like this and pull on it a little bit, and it'll pull itself back through. And then you want to start at the end. Don't start way up here because you'll rip your hair out and detangle from the bottom. And then once you get past that little bit of a rough patch where you made the intentional nest, then it'll be just like the regular braid, and you'll just comb it all out. And there we are. So hopefully that made sense. I'm not sure if I'll show you the first part. I might show you like the very first time that I tried to do this on camera in this video, just so you can see kind of what not to do, because in the end I had to add more hair, and I think different hair has different um, like ease to it, because I remember when I did it on this is actually a wig, but when I did it on my other wig, that I think the texture was a little bit thicker. I didn't have to, like, when I got to the end, I didn't have to add a little bit of one piece of this one section to the other to get that nesting at the bottom. I just braided it within itself. But this hair I think is a little bit less thick, and so you might have to, if you have thinner hair, just add a little bit to it to make it all knotted. If you guys have ever had box braids or you've ever seen box braids done, It's very similar to what they do once they get to the end. They start adding hair from the sections to get it to intertwine with itself. So you're doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing, and then you're going to tuck it back in. So I hope you guys could see all of that. If you have any more questions, though, you can leave them in the comments. I will be sure to answer them, or I can make another video if you want to see a specific thing in more detail. I can do that as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this first Superstar Sunday video. Give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and go ahead and hit the notification bell. I think the notification bell is on this side. I think last time I said it was on this side and it wasn't, or I reversed that. Anyway, click the notification bell so you guys can be sure to get notified when I upload my vlogs and when I upload my um, Superstar Sunday videos. Other than that, though, you guys keep being awesome, and I'll see you on Wednesday with a vlog, and then I will see you on Sunday with another Superstar video. Bye, guys.